right, wanted to hop on here this morning and give you an update on what to expect here as we go into Sunday. I think right now that is, everybody's concern. And I just want to kind of address, what I'm looking at and, and be transparent on this severe weather threat. It's very complex. The complexities of looking at all the different model data, you're getting some different stories. You're getting an you're getting a general trend in things, but the really fine details are going to be very hard to, get in place until we see what happens out to the west in Oklahoma today. So I want to start out with future radar first, and I want to show you kind of what to expect here through the day today, and then we'll kind of make our transition into Sunday. So you'll see as we go through the day today, a few light showers are possible. There could be a rumble of thunder or two as we go towards, I think, 6 o'clock this evening. And you'll notice the better threat there is going to be further east of Cincinnati. So expect that threat force, anything that would be severe would be very minimal, as we have no wind, and we have a little, but very little wind energy aloft, okay? And to get these storms to kind of move, and you'll notice yesterday, if you were watching the radar, they would pulse up and they would die. That's because they don't really have any type of forcing mechanism to get them to move out of the area or develop. So as we go towards about 9 o'clock in the evening, you'll see those scattered showers and thunderstorms kind of move through the area. And I still can't rule out a rumble of thunder or two overnight in this type of pattern as you saw last night, okay? So then as we progress into Sunday, where we have that threat for severe, it's been, the top headline over the past couple of days. And I just want to kind of really be transparent on this. We really don't have... We have an idea, but we don't know how, on the level of how severe this could be tomorrow because of the fact of what I'm about to show you. And I'll zoom this out shortly, but what I wanted to show was the local view first. So as we go into the morning, you'll see some clouds starting to build out towards the west, towards Madison. And then you're going to start to see some showers and some thunderstorms move into the area once we get to about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll see in southern Indiana, that's where that'll start. And then as we go into time here, by 3 o'clock, you see some showers, some storms up towards the Indianapolis area. And keep in mind, the race is tomorrow, up there in Indianapolis. Taste of Cincinnati is going on here. So we have a lot of activities. People are going to be out, on Brookville Lake and, further south and down towards, Lake Cumberland and things like that. So there will be some storms around, I think, during the mid-afternoon hours tomorrow. The question is, and this particular model shows the convection being less in nature, and I will say out of all of the models, this has had a better handle on things over the past couple of days because there's so many boundaries and things in place from leftover thunderstorms. It really has a hard time trying to find the finer detail in things. All of these short-term models. We have a lot of trouble with this in the summertime. We could say a line of storms is coming. Kind of like last night, if you watched out towards the west, the data did poorly with that line. It did get the overall trend of it eventually diving south, but it did not show it kind of making that further eastward movement. So I caution every model you see on your phone today and tomorrow. I'm telling you right now, this model here is likely not going to be the end-all result, but this has got the better trend of things. We have a good period of dry time on this model, okay, as we go towards the early evening into the overnight period. If we were supposed to see significant severe weather, and I'm talking significant being 70, 80, maybe 90 mile an hour winds tomorrow night with a line of storms, and you're going to get to see it here in just a minute. Here it is at 11 o'clock on this particular model from Greensburg, Indianapolis, points west. This would be what we call a mesoconvective system that would race into the area. This is at midnight, and you can see how nasty this line is. And you've got those little notches in that line, and we all know what that could end up being. Some isolated spin-ups with this in this scenario, okay? This would race into the area once we get towards midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and race out of here as we get to about 3 a.m. This particular model. It's showing less convection during the day. That's the key message I want to tell you here. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up and you look at the radar and you look out towards Illinois and you see a huge line of storms moving its way towards us, that's what you'll have to watch, because if that line sticks together, which I will show you in just a minute on a different computer model, which shows that entire line sticking together and getting in here, this particular scenario would not unfold. We would see a lessening threat of severe as we go into the evening. Now, I'm not saying that during the afternoon we will not see severe, but I'm saying our potential would be less to see those 70, 80 mile an hour wind potential. So I'm going to go ahead and advance. This is what we call the HRRR model, HRRR model. This is at 1 o'clock, okay? And you can see there's that line to the west. So as we go, and I'm going to have to load this in real time, this is 2 o'clock. It shows a pretty nasty line of storms. There could be damaging winds, maybe up to 60. I can't rule out an isolated spin up with this. But you can see how this line at 3 o'clock is moving in, and it's bowed out. So it could have that potential for some damaging winds along with it. 60, there could be a 70 mile an hour on here, but I think that's going to be more of that evening threat where you would see the 70, 80 mile an hour winds. But you can see that clears out around 6 or 7 o'clock. Now, historically, every time we talk about severe weather that impacts our area between the times of 10 a.m. and 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, to get severe weather to come back in the evening is incredibly difficult. So as if this model plays out, you would be more in what I would call a slight risk of severe. You'll see at 11 o'clock, same scenario, storms moving in, but you can notice it's less organized, I would say, in my opinion. I think we will still see 60 mile an hour winds down through here, but that 70, 80 isolated spin up's still there. But that 70, 80, hurricane force wind potential would be less as we go towards the midnight time frame. And that's all dependent on what happens tomorrow afternoon. And we're not going to know that until we see what happens out further west. So several different computer models in play here to show you kind of what to expect. So the idea of this, and I'm going to just zoom this particular model out and throw this out to the west here. So this is today, okay? I'm going to fast forward to today. At 5 o'clock, Oklahoma, as everybody knows, is in the spot today for significant severe weather. It has a cap over Oklahoma today, which is typical. But as we go to 10 o'clock tonight, you can see these storms fire. Now, these supercell storms are really hard for the models to really pinpoint exactly what they're going to do, because they're just so dynamic in nature. But you'll see this whole entire line really tries to get its act together as we get to 6 a.m. out in Missouri, and then races off towards the east. There's plenty of wind energy tomorrow. There's plenty of instability, and that's why that's been highlighted tomorrow for a significant risk of severe weather. So I'm not saying there's not going to be severe tomorrow. What I'm saying is there's going to be 2 rounds of potential severe. What I'm trying to tell you is if line 1 comes through and it's severe, line 2 won't be as intense as what is forecasted. If line 1 fades, line 2 develops in, it will have that hurricane force wind tornado potential. I still think that second line is still going to have the 60 mile an hour wind potential and isolated spin up potential during the evening, but may not be as potent because we've had the atmosphere kind of worked over in this fashion. And I'll tell you, every time we have the atmosphere worked over here in the Ohio Valley, it really does impact, what we see for any second or third batch that moves in. So moderate risk of severe storms out here in Oklahoma into Kansas and western Missouri today. they've been going through the potential for a high risk, but, that really at this point doesn't matter. Tomorrow is our risk of severe. I'll zoom this in, and you'll see kind of their thought process, right? And the models are doing pretty good. Shows a big line in the overnight period, and it races through, and that's what this threat's for. If I show you, here is your tornado threat tomorrow. We're only at a 5%. We've had 10 and 15% issued this spring. So the tornado potential is there, but I think the tornado threat is lower in this scenario because you're just going to have isolated spin-ups along the line. Your better tornado, bigger tornado threat, maybe stronger tornadoes, are going to be down towards the Kentucky Bluegrass Parkway and points south tomorrow into tomorrow night. The big show is going to be the damaging winds. And we're actually in a significant threat for damaging winds. I think I can, yeah, sure, there you go. So, it's just south of the area, but I would say we're still kind of in that threat for significant wind damage for tomorrow. And let me see if I can zoom this in. We got a few counties that are included in here, and that includes, Jennings, Decatur, Ripley, Jefferson, Scott, into, let's say, Switzerland County, Carroll, Gallatin, Grant, and into Owen County. Those areas in that significant damaging wind threat. So here's the zoomed in view, but you can see most, if not all of us, are in that enhanced risk of severe weather for tomorrow. So the idea is today, whatever app you've got on your phone, don't look at future radar because at any time a storm could fire. I'm just going to say it how it is. So if you're out on the lake, if you're out at the park or whatever, just keep an eye to the sky. Keep an eye on the radar. Anything could pop up at any time. And then tomorrow, we've got the timing pretty well narrowed down, okay? So anywhere between that noon and 5 o'clock tomorrow, that's going to be a time to be heightened and alert for. I wouldn't be out on the boat tomorrow if I were you. If anything, I would try to stay home and, have some grilling out plans with the family or things like that. Just stay local. Don't worry. Just take it easy tomorrow. And then the bigger threat will come potentially, depending on what happens between that 1 and 5 time frame, between, I would say, 10 p.m. and about 4 a.m. On Monday. And then there's also a potential on Monday for the threat for some hail producers because it's going to be warm down here, colder aloft. Sometimes that produces some small hail, but likely just some loud thunder at times. During the afternoon hours. That's a chance at this point. So, all right. Hopefully I explained everything for you in good detail. I just wanted to come on and give you a quick update on what my thought process was. Once again, it's all depending on what happens with that tonight and what the progression is on that line tomorrow afternoon. If it fades out, look out tomorrow night. That's going to be our time where we see significant wind damage, power outages, and isolated tornadoes. If we get the first line, it's going to be severe, okay? No doubt about it. There could be some isolated spin-ups, 60-mile-an-hour wind potential more than likely with that. And then the next line would also have that 60-mile-per-hour line potential with some isolated spin-ups. I'm just focusing on the intensity towards the evening threat and what the afternoon convection does to that. So, two storm systems or 2 lines going to move through the area as we go into tomorrow. So, be prepared. Have a plan in place for power outages because it's going to be humid and hot, and just make sure you're prepared for that tomorrow night. Because if we do get a MCS or could be a derecho, there would be significant power outages area-wide. So just keep that in mind. All right, so that's where we stand with the severe weather risk. I did just want to show you quickly before I hop off just where we're at on the radar. Right now, you can see we don't have any lightning on the radar. We do have one shower, and there's been some showers that have been developing over the last little bit. They'll pulse up, pulse down, but one here near LaGrange, it's not severe. It's not even showing any thunder or lightning, okay? And then I'll zoom this out on a wider view and just kind of show you kind of what we're seeing kind of more on a wider scope of things, and put a loop on here. But you can see some storms up towards Akron, Dover, up in Ohio. But we have a little bit of a disturbance here, okay? And you can kind of see that on the radar right here, okay? So until that disturbance passes through, we're still going to have that threat for some storms through the day. So if you've got any outdoor plans, keep that in mind. There could be some storms that fire. I doubt anything gets severe potential or severe warned today, but it will produce a lot of lightning and very heavy rain in a short period of time, okay? So that is it. That's what I got for now. Just wanted to come on, give you an update. I'll keep an eye on trends as we go into tonight, and we'll see where we go as we go into tomorrow morning. And we'll see what the Storm Prediction Center, here in about 2 hours, an hour and a half, they'll update that severe weather risk, and we'll see kind of what they're thinking, and then kind of merge that into kind of what my thought process is later this afternoon. So, all right, that's it for now. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.